Welcome back to the Team to Beat Miami Heat basketball channel. The Miami Heat defeated the Milwaukee Bucks last night 119-114 in Game 4 of the NBA Eastern Conference first round matchup. That was one of the most exciting and exhilarating and fun, unexpected Miami Heat games that I've ever watched as a fan. Jimmy Butler, or should I say Himmy Butler, the GOAT, literally put Miami on his back last night and almost single-handedly defeated Giannis and the Bucks last night by scoring 56 points, which is the fourth highest points total by any player in any game in NBA playoff history. Only Michael Jordan, Elgin Baylor, and Donovan Mitchell have scored more points in a playoff game. Jimmy was literally spectacular, amazing, and sensational last night. Without that performance, the Heat would be tied 2-2, and the series most likely would be over. Jimmy Butler scored 22 of that 56 in the first quarter. He was cooking from the start. He was being extremely aggressive, which he typically does not in the first quarter. He usually tries to get his teammates involved and lets the game come to him and scores when he needs to. But he was aggressive out the gate. He was 9 for 10 in the first quarter. He was 2 for 3 from 3, and he kept the Heat in this game. They needed every single one of those points in the first quarter. The Heat scored 28 total in that quarter. Jimmy had 22 of them. The Heat were down by 10 points throughout that entire first quarter. And anytime the Bucks were trying to pull away, Jimmy just kept hitting jumper after jumper after jumper, and even dunked on Giannis, which was super surprising in that first quarter. So Jimmy, in the first quarter, definitely kept the Heat afloat. Second quarter, he took a much-needed break. He played the entire first quarter, all 12 minutes. He sat out for the first 3 or 4 minutes of the second quarter, and he only scored 2 points in that quarter, but the Heat did play better. They did tie the game at 38-all at one point, but as soon as they did that, the Bucks went on a 9-0 run, and they were pretty much up between 6 and 10 points for the majority of the third quarter. So still in control of the game. Third quarter, Miami was also again down by 14 points at one point, and for the majority of this quarter they were down by double digits, but Jimmy, I believe, scored around 11 points, helping again keep the Heat in this game and preventing a blowout. In the fourth quarter is when Jimmy went off, and Jimmy scored 21 points in the fourth quarter. And he did this all within the last 7 or 8 minutes. I think he checked in at 9 minutes left to go in the fourth quarter. The Heat were down around 10 points. They were down by 14 at one point in the fourth quarter. So, but within the last 5-6 minutes, Jimmy scored around 17 points, which was just ridiculous. Jimmy was sensational. He was hitting 3-pointers to give the Heat the lead. He was getting and one buckets at the rim. He was hitting jumpers. He was literally doing everything to bring this team back. And so, of course, Jimmy gets all the kudos, all the flowers. Of course, this was a historic performance, as I mentioned. You know, one of the fourth best scoring game for any player in NBA history. But he did have help in that fourth quarter. So not a lot of help throughout that game, but Caleb Martin was clutch, super clutch in that fourth quarter. Played good overall in that game, but Caleb had 8 points out of his 12 in that fourth quarter. He had 12 points, 9 rebounds. He was 4 from 5 from the field, 2 from 3 from 3, and a couple big steals on Drew Holiday at the end. But the Heat were down by 3 with around 3 minutes or so left. It was 101-98, and Jimmy threw the ball to Caleb in the corner. It looked like he shot a three in Giannis's eye, but he had his toe on the line, unfortunately. It hit a huge shot, nonetheless, 2-pointer over Giannis. So it brought the Heat within 1 point. Forgot the order of operations. I know Lopez scored a big jumper, and then Giannis had an and one layup. And then, of course, Drew Holiday hit a big three for the back and forth aspect of the final 2 minutes. But when the Heat were down by 1 point again, I know Caleb hit a massive 3-pointer from the elbow side and put the Heat up by 2. So just huge clutch shots. He had 2 huge free throws as well when the Heat were down by 5 to bring them within 3 at 1 point as well. So huge. And then defensively again, had a couple big steals in that fourth quarter. Kyle Lowry, his stats don't jump off the box score, but he had 6 points, 4 rebounds, 5 assists, a steal and a block, and he had a really big steal at the end of the game when Giannis was going to call a timeout when the Heat were down by 1. And Kyle Lowry was able to strip Giannis, and they were able to give the ball to Jimmy for a slam dunk, and the Heat finally took a 1-point lead, which was huge. So much momentum in that play. So Jimmy did get some help, not enough. Literally had to carry this entire team, which was super frustrating. This game looked like a loss from the get when we were down by 10 pretty much the entire game and could not really get over the hump. Literally did not have a lead in that game, I don't think ever. I think that in the fourth quarter was the first time. We were down to start the game. The best we did was tied at 38-38. So I think that 102 to 101 lead was the first lead we had in that game. So Jimmy, spectacular, 56 points, but also 9 rebounds. He is just Mr. Efficient, 19 for 28 from the field. Ridiculous. He was 3 from 8 from 3, 15 from 18 for the free throw line. So just Jimmy was spectacular, unexpected. He changed this whole dynamic of the series within the last 5 minutes of that game in clutch time. He is Mr. Clutch. De'Aaron Fox won that award, but Jimmy was close. Bam Adebayo, pretty disappointing game. He had 15 points, 8 rebounds. He was 6 for 16. So inefficient, not aggressive enough, not looking to score. Got blocked by Robin Lopez like 3 times. 2 of them were on dunk attempts. He had some garbage time points and some free throws. So he had around 10, 11 points for the most part in this game, which is simply not enough. Tyler Robinson gaining some minutes with Tyler Hero and Oladipo's injury. He was 3 for 4 from 3 and 9 points, 4 rebounds. So good minutes for him. Strus, non-existent. Kevin Love, 6.7 rebounds, very helpful. Vincent, 10 points, 8 assists, but he was shooting poorly, 4 for 13, had 5 turnovers. So again, this is Jimmy Butler's game. Jimmy, playoff Jimmy came out and showed out, and he's showing why he's one of the top 5 best players in the NBA. I'm not talking regular season when it doesn't count. I'm talking about in the playoffs every year after year. In the 4 years that he's been with the Heat specifically, Jimmy turns it up a notch, and he goes ham. He goes crazy. He is literally him. I love Jimmy Butler. By far one of my top favorite Miami Heat additions and players. Not sure where I rank him right now. Of course, he's never going to be ahead of Dwayne Wade. Can't really put him ahead of LeBron in terms of impact, but because of the 2 rings that LeBron helped us win. But I like him on this team better than I did with LeBron, because LeBron kind of took over the team and took D Wade's team and overshadowed him, and then Dwayne Wade became more of the second fiddle, which is not as bad as being the third fiddle like Chris Bosh was. But anyway, just such a super clutch, ridiculous, and amazing performance by Jimmy Butler. One of the best games I've ever seen. One of the top 5 Miami Heat games that I've ever witnessed. One of the top 3 or 4 performances ever for a Miami Heat player. I mean, this was the Miami Heat's franchise record for points. Even Dwayne Wade and LeBron did not get 50 points in a playoff game. LeBron got close. Wade also got close, I believe. But yeah, historically, this game, it's only the first round. It's been a disappointing year, disappointing team, but it's only the first round. It's not a championship. It's not in the finals or the East Finals. So we can't put too much weight into that. But still, just one of the most fun, gritty performances that we've seen from a player in a Miami Heat uniform. So Miami Heat are up 3-1 as the 8th seed against the 1 seed. Unexpected. Yeah, I know Giannis has been hurt. He's played only basically one game in one quarter. So that's huge, of course. But that team is still and should be significantly better than this Miami Heat team, even without Giannis, because the Heat don't have Tyler Hero, who's basically only played one half, 19 minutes in this series, and also losing Victor Oladipo. So a lot of injuries. That's playing a part, but just never expected the Heat to be up 3-1. They stole home court advantage. They held it. Now we just need to win 1 out of 3. I don't know if we can win the next game tomorrow in Milwaukee. You never know, but we've been shooting so much better compared to the regular season. So last year we were the number 1 seed, number 1 shooting 3-point team, top 10 in points, top 10 in defense, and in the playoffs, even though we got to the Eastern Conference Finals and almost were 1 shot away, 1 3-point away from Jimmy from making the finals again, the Heat shot horrifically from 3 last year. Basically the complete inverse, the opposite of what they were doing in the regular season. And then this season, they were shooting horribly. That's why they're the 8th seed. They were, at one point, the last team in shooting percentage. They were bottom 5, I believe, 27th in the league. At one point, they were last in points per game. I think they finished at like 30th or so, 29th. So the complete opposite's happening this year now. Now that they're in the playoffs, they are the number 1 scoring team, the number 1 offensive rated team, and the best 3-point shooting team. They're shooting 46% as a team. They're shooting around 34. I know it's a small sample size, it's 4 games, but the Heat were shooting 34% from 3 as a team this season, which was horrible. And now they're shooting 46%. They were averaging 109 points per game in the regular season. Again, I know it's only 4 games, but they're averaging around 124 points per game in the playoffs so far, which is number 1. So crazy roller coaster of a season. Jekyll and Hyde is what I call the Heat. Literally just hoping that the Heat can pull off this upset. I don't expect them to win a championship this year. Crazy things have happened, but losing Hero and Depot is huge. But still, this would be such a great, proud moment if we could defeat the number 1 Bucks and close out the series. That's all I'm asking for. I don't need to be greedy. I just want them to win. I want to be able to see some more Heat basketball. Excited for that opportunity and excited to see Jimmy Butler carry this team. I mean, I hope he doesn't have to carry the team like he did last night, but just excited that Jimmy is our guy, and he proved that playoff Jimmy is capable of being a number 1 guy on a championship team. He severely needs more help. Bam has been playing horrible since the All-Star break. We need to figure something out. He needs another star to play next to him. We need to revamp this team next year in the offseason. Sign someone, trade someone. I don't know. We just need to give this man some help. He needs it. So we can't continue to just have him play with 9 undrafted players. So anyway, amazing game. Was spectacular. Thank God we didn't lose to the Bucks. And thank God the Bucks wasted a 36-point game from Brook Lopez, which was a career high, and 11 rebounds, 3 blocks, 2 steals. And then, of course, Giannis, coming back from injury, had a triple-double. He looks fine. 26, 10, and 13. 12 from 22 from the field. He was crushing it, minus the turnovers, but huge. I mean, to withstand that was wonderful. Oh, but we're not going to be able to withstand that again by having Jimmy score 56 points again. That's not going to happen. So anyway, Game 5 tomorrow. Heat looking to close out. I think we're going to close it out at home, Game 6, but who knows? If we keep shooting the way we're shooting, then I think we have a chance. Someone else needs to step up, and players need to be more consistent. So thanks again for watching. Take care. Have a great time. Bye.